I don't know if you're like me, but when I see players like Ace, you take poo-poos on randoms, I can't be like that. My movement is decent, and I typically have no problem navigating my way through a fight. Though I do be wondering, what would happen if I were to train my movement in just 7 days? I go by the name of Mista, and welcome to 7 days of movement. Oh my god, what am I doing right now? Movement is one of those buzzwords in Apex where you expect some guy to be 3 centimeters away from his monitor cranking 90s on ziplines. As more players get accustomed to the physics engine of Apex Legends, absolute beasts of the game style on their opponents with more and more unorthodox characters. Ace, you crawled so Fade could walk, so to speak. Movement has become such an awe-inspiring aspect of any good Apex player's arsenal that grants the user hundreds of thousands of views because of one thing. It's fucking hard, man. Fuck. In fact, god tier movement is honestly the hardest mechanical aspect in Apex to master. So I decided to climb the mountain once more, no longer held back by the claims of aim assist and seer one tricks. Oh no. These 7 days, I was to test my might, and I was going to do it by practicing 3 movement techs that I wanted to hit at least 1 clip of throughout these 7 days. Enter super gliding, one of, if not the most difficult movement tech in the game. Super gliding is performed by mantling a ledge or wall and then inputting a crouch and jump command at the same time, but it must be frame perfect, meaning that there is a microscopic margin of error, and if I was to master this, I would become the movement god himself. The next movement technique was tab strafing, and honestly, I have a pretty good handle on this one. All you have to do, if you're a keyboard warrior that is to bind your jump to either scroll wheel up or down, whatever you're more comfortable with. Bind your forward movement key to the opposite scroll direction. What this effectively does is make sure that if you turn a corner, you're turning it sharp so as to dodge as much as you can. It becomes more effective when paired with a super glide or a wall bounce, which is just timing a jump on a wall to redirect somewhere else. My personal main is Pathfinder, and his grapple pairs nicely with tap strafing, so I want to give this a try in these coming days. The third and final technique was fatigue jumping, and I'll let you see this for an explanation. So homeboy slides down, right? So this is like very simple stuff, right? Hits the ground and then like tap strafes off of the ground movement, right? So he's moving, and then he moves into the wall. Brink. Fatigue jumps right behind him. See you later. RIP fucking rip bozo. Get fucked. He's a god, is all I'm saying. Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not finna be able to do that shit. And now I know what you're thinking.
But Mista, how did you practice movement and how did you do on these 7 days?
Oh, well, people, here's how it went. At the very start of this thing, I was skeptical. I mean, how could I really pull off fancy shit by the end of this thing? I know I aim trained for 30 days and the results showed, but the movement techs are super hard to use. And fatigue jumping is just so abstract for me to implement. By day 2, there's a little progress. Super gliding is being used more. Fatigue jumping seems to really work when paired with a slide wall jump. Tap strafing is almost natural, but I will say, it's hard, but I'm thinking this is more doable now. Timing, baby. We're on day 5 and I'm definitely moving more fluid than I was, especially on non-movement characters, surprisingly. Everything is starting to flow, though I'm still having trouble hitting those super glides.
Poison from the can in my hand. Gonna die for the jam. Poison from the can in my hand. Gonna die for the jam. Poison from the can in my hand. Gonna die for the jam. Poison from the can in my hand. Gonna die for the jam.
Oh my god, what am I doing right now?
Poison from the can in my hand. Gonna die for the jam. Poison from the can in my hand. Gonna die for the jam. Poison from the can in my hand. Gonna die for the jam. Poison from the can in my hand. Gonna die for the jam.
The final day was approaching, and I was reaching the end of my journey. After these 7 days, I was to become a changed man. No longer blighted by my shitty mechanics, I was a movement player. So, after 7 days, I've learned movement is fun. Wall bouncing, super gliding, tap strafing, all aspects of Apex that, quite frankly, make me a little aroused. I don't know about you. Wait, hold on. I didn't mean it like that. However, I've only put 7 days into focusing on movement, and I, for one, have noticed that movement is not the end-all be-all. Sure, it's fun, it looks sexy in a montage, but it won't matter at the end of the day if you can't hit shots that count. And when I was trying my best to implement movement, I fell short many times due to forcing movement in situations that did not need movement whatsoever. On the 7th and final day, for example, I decided to play Seer, and when you knock someone on, say, Pathfinder or Wraith, you have to risk your body or grab an angle to make sure that they don't reset or res. But with utility like Seer, kind of just press a button and you're good. No movement needed, no reposition required. And these types of characters that lower the skill floor are being added throughout every new season of Apex. Though I will say, movement has saved my ass once or twice throughout these 7 days, and I have noticed a significant boost in confidence of my overall maneuverability in a firefight. I'm so grateful that I trained my movement for these 7 days. And maybe someday soon, I'll become that movement god that I want to see. You know, someday.